For thousands of years, one story has refused to disappear. Atlantis, a name whispered across centuries. A city imagined, debated, reinterpreted, and resurrected by every generation that encounters it. A myth that behaves less like a legend and more like a memory humanity can't quite let go of. According to ancient accounts, Atlantis was a marvel, a city that shone brighter than any other, built with knowledge far ahead of its time. Its architecture was said to be precise and harmonious, its streets orderly, its people intelligent, disciplined, and ambitious. It was a civilization that seemed to have mastered the art of living. And then, without warning, it vanished beneath the waves. Plato wrote of Atlantis not merely as a place, but as a warning. A civilization that reached extraordinary heights, only to collapse when ambition outpaced wisdom. A society that forgot the balance between power and humility. A people who believed they were untouchable, until nature reminded them otherwise. Whether Atlantis was real or symbolic, almost doesn't matter. What matters is why humanity refuses to let it go. Most myths fade. Most legends dissolve into the background of history. But Atlantis persists, not because of what it was, but because of what it represents. Across cultures, the same story repeats itself. Great societies rise, convinced they are immune to failure. They master nature, expand influence, accumulate wealth, and celebrate their own brilliance. And slowly, almost invisibly, they forget humility. Atlantis is not just a tale of a city swallowed by the sea. It is a mirror held up to every civilization that has ever believed itself invincible. Flood myths appear everywhere. In Mesopotamia, India, China, the Americas, the Pacific Islands, and countless indigenous traditions. These stories are not identical, but they share a common theme. Water becomes the great equalizer. It washes away pride. It erases names carved in stone. It reminds humanity that nature is older, stronger, and far more patient than we are. In these stories, water is not just destruction. It is memory. It is cleansing. It is the force that resets the world when humans forget their place within it. Atlantis survives because it fits into this universal pattern, a reminder that no matter how advanced a society becomes, it is never beyond the reach of consequence. Ironically, the city that supposedly sank has never stopped rising in our imagination. Atlantis appears in philosophy, literature, science fiction, archaeology, conspiracy theories, and spiritual teachings. It has been reimagined as a utopia, a technological superpower, a lost continent, a metaphor for human arrogance, and even a symbol of forgotten wisdom. Every generation reshapes Atlantis to reflect its own fears and hopes. To the ancient Greeks, it was a warning about hubris. To Renaissance thinkers, it was a symbol of ideal governance. To modern seekers, it represents lost knowledge and spiritual awakening. To scientists, it is a puzzle, a question mark carved into the ocean floor. Atlantis refuses to sink because it speaks to something deep within us, the fear that we, too, might forget what truly matters. We live in an age of unprecedented knowledge. We have mapped the genome, split the atom, explored the deep sea, and sent machines to other planets. We store more information in a single device than ancient civilizations could gather in centuries, and yet the ancient warnings still apply. Technology grows faster than ethics. Power expands faster than responsibility. Information multiplies faster than wisdom. We are surrounded by data, but starved for meaning. We are connected globally, yet often disconnected from ourselves. We advance rapidly, but rarely pause to ask whether we are advancing in the right direction. Memory, our most fragile treasure, is always at risk. Not just the memory of history, but the memory of values, the memory of purpose, the memory of what makes a civilization worth preserving. Atlantis endures because it reminds us that forgetting is more dangerous than any natural disaster. Plato described Atlantis as a society that began in harmony. Its people were strong, disciplined, and guided by principles. They lived with balance between ambition and restraint, innovation and tradition, power and humility. But over time, something shifted. Their desire for expansion grew, their hunger for wealth, intensified, their sense of moral grounding weakened. They became, in Plato's words, filled with an unjust lust for power. This is the moment every civilization faces, the turning point where greatness becomes greed, where progress becomes excess, where confidence becomes arrogance. Atlantis fell not because of a single mistake, but because of a gradual forgetting.